Hi, baby. No? Okay. I bet you didn't count on this, because I sure didn't. So growing up young in Australia, there was this thing called Toaster TV, which was pretty much just 4Kid Dubs Central with a few toy adverts sprinkled in here and there. Basically, they just have a bunch of shows, one after another, and in between those shows and the ad breaks, there'd be a couple of hosts trying to sell kids' toys, essentially, with some fan art shown off. One of those shows was Mew Mew Power. And that's why we're here today, because I'm committing to doing all 5 of the girls from Mew Mew Power. Not promising it, but I sure am hoping that I'm going to do it. And the first cab off the rank for what is an experiment of my attention span is Renee, for no reason other than she is both the tallest and my favourite. One critique that I have generally for a lot of magical girl animes, even though I love them, they're amazing, is that the outfits that the girls transform into are A, not age appropriate, and B, not very fight practical. So my plan with this series is to make the girls, but not totally remake them, you know, strand for strand. I want to adapt it a little bit. So for my concept for Renee, I don't know, I've sort of gone with I don't know, I just slapped some armor on it and thought it looked cool. She had to have her stomach out because that's where her Mew Mew mark is, or whatever it is they call it. It's the only impractical thing that I'm kind of letting happen in this design. Otherwise, she's got armor, she's got sleeves, she's got pants, and then everything else is going to be a matter of availability from there, which I will touch on when I get there eventually. Now, she's going to have her wolf ears, so I think it's a bit silly for her to have her human ears, so I'm going to cut them off. And then I will make armatures for her wolf ears out of, I think it's just floral wire for like floral design. If you don't know a lot about Tokyo Mew Mew or Mew Mew Power in general, the girls get their powers because they're spliced with these endangered animals or whatever. So Renee's animal is the grey wolf, I think, so I looked at references for grey wolves and then I exaggerated the ears to be bigger and cooler because she's an anime magical girl. Why wouldn't you?
Go away.
And Lord help me, I can't do half of any of this process on camera, but I used a Sharpie to mark where I wanted the ear holes to be roughly so I could sort of have them even. I didn't have an issue with the Sharpie staining the hair when I did the reroute later, but I also acetoned everything a couple of times before I went ahead and did the reroute, so I didn't have an issue, but I also drew it on top of the paint, which I then took off. It might be a different story. It might be a different... My cats are fighting in the background. It would probably be a different story if I drew directly on the head without that layer of paint in between. Are you guys okay? Are you alright? I think they're fine for the time being. And I feel like I probably should have mentioned it a little bit earlier, but I'm obviously using a Nephra doll here because she's got the big sister body type and Renee is the tallest of the Mew Mews. So this way, when I'm going through the series so they can be height accurate, Zoe will be a standard Monster High doll, Kiki will be the little sister body type, and then Bridget and Karina, I will have to alter their height so they are in between, whoever they are respectively in between. Which will be great because I want them to sort of look different and unique as a set. And I'm sure you all know this isn't new information, but I'm using epoxy sculpt to sculpt the ears. Now, I didn't want to just paint the ears and leave that be. I wanted them to have a really nice texture to them, but I didn't want to use like full fur. So I have a heap of flocking that I'd bought, but I didn't have any in the colour I wanted. So what I had to do was take a lighter colour of the flocking that I had, which is this cream stuff, and mix in grated pastels until I got the colour I want. And it was perfect. It was great. The only thing I would recommend if you were to do this was after I had glued the flocking to the ears, I then took them outside and sprayed them with matte fixative, because then hopefully it's kept the texture, but it doesn't feel like, or at least I haven't noticed any of the pigment from the pastels transferring off the ears, which is something to keep in mind. Probably going to be a standard for me on this channel is to do the reroot off screen, because I normally just do it in front of the television and I don't think reroots are interesting to watch. So the first thing I did with the ears was I trimmed down the wire a little bit because they were a bit too long for the neck peg that's going to be inside the head, and then I took it all and I stabbed the holes that I'd marked for those wires to go in, and I just used Loctite super glue to glue the ears onto the head, and that was perfect. zero help from my furry assistant here, I reattached the head to the body. Now, I'd put a lot of glue in this head because when I first tried to glue it, I was still pulling plugs of hair out. Now I think part of the problem is I put too much of the plug into the hair so it doesn't glue properly. So what I had to do was I had to stab into the glue there and pull some of the crud out from around the neck so I could actually get the neck into the neck hole. And with that, we wrap her hair up and we start on the face up. Now I know Renee has bangs, but I really love this hairline on Nephra, and I'd just done the reroot and I hadn't even thought about styling the hair, and obviously I'd done the plugs in a way that it wasn't possible to do the bangs. So she's just gonna have the widow's peak, and I love it, honestly. I just love it. I don't have to justify it. I love it. I haven't done anything especially different for this face up. I had actually planned her face out really well because I knew the shape of eye that I wanted to do from my concept drawings, and I'd done a really good job at actually capturing, I think, pretty much every step that I took to do this face up. And I don't have anything new to say that I haven't said in my previous videos. So there isn't going to be a lot of commentary on this face up, which I think is for the better. One thing I will do though is that because I've decided to chop up a lot of the footage because I stop and start a lot when I'm doing the face up, either because I need to pick something up or my cats decide to destroy something, I'll do a fade transition every time I finish on a layer of the doll and move to MSC, to spray it with MSC. If it's just a snap transition like this, it'll just be the same layer. I've just chopped out some useless footage because there was a lot of footage. life of me, I can't remember why, but the previous clip that I just jumped from, I had drawn the base of both irises, and now on this clip, one of the irises is missing because I've apparently wiped that eye off. I don't know what for. I can't remember. I was probably unhappy with something. Oh, I think maybe her wing was facing the wrong, was like wonky. I don't know. I simply don't know. But I did wipe it off for some reason. I cannot remember why. I should probably take notes when I'm doing face-ups. But that's definitely not going to happen. I'm so sorry. So now that we're at the back end of all the footage that I have of the face up, excuse me, sir? Can you not walk all over the desk? I swear every time I've tried to take a take, he's done something. I have footage of me drawing the Mew Mew mark and doing, more body blushing, but it wasn't interesting to watch. What I was doing with the Mew Mew mark wasn't really legible because the colour that ow! It just jumped off me. The colour that I used for the Mew Mew mark was too light, so it wasn't super legible on camera, and it just wasn't interesting. As for the clothes, I had filmed a lot of what I'd done, and I thought that I'd successfully moved everything from my camera's memory card to my hard drive. And it turns out I absolutely did not. I cannot find any of that footage, and it was the footage of me, altering and painting the shoes, which was a whole debacle because I couldn't make any shoes to fit, her big sister body type, because it was just a nightmare. So I went out and bought the big sister green one, I don't remember her name, specifically for her shoes because they were perfect for what I wanted, and then I cut them and I glued some fabric to them and they look really, really nice, and there was a whole process for it, and I made her a whip, which I filmed, but I don't know where any of that footage is gone. So you can leave it up to your imagination. You can ask me on Instagram if you're really interested, but it's not there. This is essentially just a video of me doing a face up. And if that's all this video is, I think it's pretty successful. Even though I lost all the clothes footage, we can all be very happy and very excited that I still had the tail footage that no one really wants to see. So I'd made the tail with that melting plastic stuff that you put in hot water. It's disgusting. I don't like it. It feels like cheese. It sticks to everything. I'm not a huge fan of it. Whatever. So I had this fur fabric that I used for the tail because I was originally going to sculpt something really smooth and then use the flocking, but then I lost the flocking. So this tail is close enough. I don't think anyone's going to look at it too harshly and realize that it's a lot darker than the ears, but whatever. It is what it is. It was just a very simple tail shape on a wire that I ended up gluing into a hole that I drilled in her back, and I just sewed a casing around it out of the fur, and it's really cute. I think it's cute, and I'm the only one I have to impress here. And I glued it with fabric glue because fabric glue works for everything. Why are we climbing all over stuff exclusively when Mummy's working the microphone? Why are we doing that? Vague armory shapes around her hips are just that, armor. So I made them out of craft foam and I painted them a mix of really dark purple with this silver pearlescent paint that I own. My aim with the colors of the girls is that for Zoe, she will be primarily pink, and then all the other girls will be primarily black and brown with whatever their signature color is. So then that Zoe, besides the fact that she's the middle one as far as height, she's also meant to be she's the leader, she's the most important one. So in the case for Renee, her colour palette is down to 3 colours, which is purple, brown and black. So the brown will be used to accent on top of the black, and then the purple is used to accent on top of the brown, is my theory. I've also kept in mind that she has a lot of hair, and that's a lot of purple. I didn't want to put too much purple into her outfit, otherwise you wouldn't necessarily be able to tell different parts of what's going on in the armor apart. Partially because I like to think I have a little bit of character design savvy, but also I'm bad at making doll clothes, so I need that color separation to really define particular pieces that I'm making, because I'm not super skilled at it. So the armor goes underneath this little skirty thing that I made out of pleather and an old Monster High belt that I'd painted purple, and everything's glued together with fabric glue, because fabric glue is amazing. I love fabric glue. It'll stick to everything. Even your children that aren't born yet, they will be born covered in fabric glue if you use this stuff enough. And it's flexible, which is great for this armor. So when I melted it to form it to the thigh a little bit better, it took it like a champ. It was great. That's the end of the video. That's the end of the mediocre commentary from me. I hope you like it. There'll be more photos over on Instagram as always, and I will see you for the next doll, which will be Zoe. I've already finished her reroute, so that's something. It's definitely something. Talk in the mic so Mum can... Ow! You want to talk in the mic so Mum can have an outro? Can you talk in the mic for a little bit? You literally just spent the last 5 minutes screaming at me. Now that I want you to talk and, serve some kind of purpose, seeing as you don't pay rent in this house. Oh, thank you. Can you do it again? Oh, thank you. Let me give you kisses. That's it. That's the outro. Thanks. Bye.